Hi, I'm Kailyn, and this is my story. So, I knew Jesus from when I was a little girl. I officially gave my life to him when I was 8 or 9 years old at a vacation Bible school back home in North Carolina. And I didn't really know what that meant. I was just a good person, so I thought, growing up, I always tried to do the right things. I tried to be the best version of myself. I tried to strive academically and in sports and whatever I was doing. And I realized later on in life that I wasn't really doing those things for God. I was doing those because I cared too much about what other people thought of me. And that kind of just haunted me for a large majority of my life. And I started with gymnastics. I started gymnastics when I was 5, and I was lucky enough to be able to get a scholarship in college to Nebraska. So I then moved, and that was just such a huge part of my life, and it became my identity. And it wasn't until my injuries and just my body had broken down and I was forced to quit that I realized that I had made that my identity for so long, and I was broken and I didn't know who I was without it. And that pattern just kind of kept repeating throughout my life. The same thing happened when I was in a relationship in college with a man that I once thought I would marry. And when that ended last summer, I found myself in a place that I never thought I would be. And once again, I had put my identity in that relationship. And so a piece of me, it just seemed like it was torn out. And again, I was missing who my identity was. I needed to know, who is Kailyn? And I didn't have an answer to that. And it wasn't until I came to Christ's Place in Lincoln, Nebraska, where I was attending church at the time, that I really realized that Jesus needed to be my identity, and that I was missing that for so long. I had loved Jesus since I was little, but I had missed the mark for 15 years or so. And it was just so humbling and eye-opening to finally realize that that was the problem. It was an identity issue from the very beginning. So when I was baptized in the summer of 2014, I kind of consider that as my turning point, when things started to really shift and to go into focus. But it really wasn't even until my relationship with that one guy ended last summer that I finally started to go all out for Jesus. It was almost like God was giving me the opportunity to say, okay, this is what I've called you to, and now you are free to follow me. And it was so freeing. It was so good. As painful as all these situations were in my life, it was so amazing to know that God was still there and that he was calling me to way more than I had thought of myself. And so I ended up in Christ's Place Leadership College, and I never thought I would be in that sort of position, but now I know that ministry is part of my calling, and he's called me that for years. And I'm just so excited that God is a God of mercy and a God of love, and that while he was pursuing me, he was still always there, even though I wasn't pursuing him back. And I don't think there's any greater love than that.